Hello, everyone. Hope everybody's having a good weekend. I decided to do a weekend review video just because most of the people I talk to that are using this for informational advice, um, they just have the wrong mindset, right? Um, the reason we started with this strategy is because this is a strategy that I used to take $300 into now what is my financial freedom. I pay for all my living expenses off the stock market. But when you first start out, your expectations are crazy because if you look on Twitter or Snap or whatever the kids use these days, I don't use any of that stuff. But YouTube, even you'll see, hey, I made $100,000 in 4 minutes or whatever it is, right? Uh, but that's not how you get started. And I just want to explain one thing, that the reason that I started the channel talking about swing trading is because most of the people that I know do not have enough money to go straight into investing. So uh, every traditional avenue will funnel you into mutual funds and things like that because that feeds the system. But I won't get into that. Um, but most people, if you start with a small amount of money, you have to grow that money in order to have enough to invest. The investing is 100% foolproof. It does work. You do compound your money. You will turn into Warren Buffett, but you have to have a lot of time or a lot of money. And in my own journey, what I found out was that I did not feel I had the time. Males in my family don't live that long, so I wanted to get to my goal soon, and then if I live longer, well, that's just gravy, right? It's all good. But I want to show you folks that this was a crazy slow week. This is not typical week. In a normal month, I will do between 50 and 300 of these swing trades. Okay, um, and this week we got two. But if you look at the market, and hell, I'll just pull it up. Why not? Technology is wonderful, isn't it? But if you pull up the market and you look at what happened this week, it went straight up. You got 5 candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we got 2 trades out of these, which is pretty good. Um, Now, just my opinion, and this is rambling. I mean, don't make any stupid decisions based on this info, but I think the market's going to pull back. So I'm short the market. And the only reason I say that is because if you're doing the swing strategy, there will be more opportunities next week and the week after, before the end of the month. Mark my words. um, and when we started this data collection here, hopefully you folks are doing the same thing. And hopefully you're not taking a bunch more trades than this, because that's what typically people do, right? Um, they're used to working hard at their job, and that's not how money works. Okay? Typically, the less you do, the more you make. And I'm going to show it to you in the numbers. But this was actually a good week. You had 3 days, you did absolutely nothing. You got to spend a lot of time with the family. Investing, trading did not consume your life and alienate you from your spouse or your children. It's something that you did on the side there, and you were able to make a little bit of money. $1.10 if you had a super small account. You think, well, that's not going to retire me. Well, yeah, but you don't retire on $300, so you have to pull your head out of your ass on that one. But the ideal is to get the data. Once we get the data, then we'll go get the money. Okay? Everybody that has a job and has lived their life kind of half-ass okay can get access to money. Okay? Now, you don't want to do that too soon because you don't know what you're doing. So we want to be very confident that we have a system that works and that we can execute it, right? Because I'm guessing if I looked at some of the folks' spreadsheets that are watching this video, these numbers may be different, right? We might have got filled at different prices. Now, I did put all these orders in after the market was closed, but if you're using a different broker, you might have got a different fill, right? So it could be slightly different. It's based on your execution, right? And I'm kind of addicted, so I'm a little more aggressive on this stuff than most people I talk to. I'm just paying more attention. I'm zoned in. I'm ready to go. But you see, just a basic strategy, a few minutes a day after work, after the kids go to bed, or whatever works best for you. Maybe you get up early and you put your orders in before you go to the gym or before you head off to the office or whatever. This strategy can work, and it way outperforms the market. The market got us this week. But when it starts pulling back, the thing to understand is we're in cash, right? So if you had $300 and you've sold both your positions, then you have 301.10, right, in cash. So when the market drops, you will not lose your money. When I started, I worked very hard for my money, was doing the single parent thing, paying child support, so I did not have a lot of money. And this strategy that I came up with was because I couldn't lose any of the money. I couldn't lose any of it. All right. So that's where the name for the channel came about too, because if you look at a bunch of YouTube videos, they will talk about bag holders, right, as a negative term. And but the one thing I saw was that human emotions play such a role in the stock market that people that take losses only end up messing themselves up. And I used to be a pro poker player, so one thing I know is that when you fold, you have zero chance to win, right? So if you can make people fold, then you increase your odds to win, right? So I wanted to take that out of it. So if you put $56.18 in the ball on the 8th, and it went down to $20, then it just does. Okay? We're not selling it. I'm not going to sell. Okay? But what this stock does is it kicks out cash flow. Okay? So every 3 months, we're going to get more money. And we will use that money to buy this if it's a good bargain. And I'll go through, I might make 2 today to show you all how to value a company. But we'll either buy this company or we'll buy something else, right? But either way, the cash flow increases. So every time you buy something, your income goes up. And that's one thing that folks that don't have any money or don't understand money never can get their head around. Because in their mind, they only think they can increase their income if they get a promotion at work, or maybe they want to sell candles or have sex parties or whatever the hell people do, which can be okay, but you got to do something with the money, right? And most people just don't. They don't compound the money. But really, if you increase your passive income, and everybody always talks about passive income, but nobody really does passive income, then you can spend more money. Okay, so it's not about being frugal, because that's the other side of the equation, right? You can spend less money, but you can only take that so far. You have to live. So my approach was to increase my income, because I still had baseline expenses that I couldn't reduce. I can't reduce child support and the cars and the house and all that stuff. So I went to increase the income. And this is the route I took, and I hope y'all can take this and make some positive changes in your life too. So, but anyways, I'm rambling. I keep the other videos short, so if you like the short videos, just skip this one. Skip the next one too. I might make one on investing, because I got people asking a bunch of questions. They want to do everything all at once, but really what you need to do is sit back, relax, watch this for a little while, see how this grows, make your own spreadsheet, look at the charts. And if you kind of get an idea of what we're doing here, come up with your decision first and then click the video. Okay? So the process is the market up or down, right? If the market is up, we do nothing, but we should be selling on those days, right? That should be when we're selling. If the market is down, we're going to run the scanner and see if there's something we can buy, right? It's really that simple. So at least do that step before you click on Monday's video. And then you'll start building confidence like, okay, number one, this is attainable. This is something that I can do. This is easy. And I'm learning. And once you get that confidence snowball, it just goes insane. So 2% for the week, 1% here, and 1% here. And I just want to explain to you folks that this is actually a huge gain, right? Historically, over the stock market averages about 6% a year. In the last couple decades, it's between 8 and 10%, just because the volatilities went crazy and inflation and the velocity of money and all those things. They've made 2% a week. Well, there's 50 weeks in a year, 52 weeks, right? So that's a double. 2 times 50, right? It's a double. And nobody's doubling their accounts, okay? Except for us, because you can't get all the glory. You have to pick your spots, right? But most people would think that it is just 100%. And I'm going to show you that really it's not. The way we do our position sizing is 1% of your account. So as your account grows from making money, your position size will increase. Does that make sense? So here I've pulled up the calculator. 56 is the dollars, okay? We had 56 bucks. All right, fair enough. We might have had a $300 account, but we really only used $56, right? Fair? We used it twice, but it was still the same $56. We made 2% for the week, right? 52 weeks, right? It says yearly because that's just the way the calculator works, but we're using it as weeks, right? So this is for 1 year. And so you would think if it's 100%, that the $56 would go to 112, right? But that's where most people do not understand compounding interest. When you pay it, it hurts more than you think, and when you earn it, you earn way more than what you think. So we go down here to the results. $156.82, which means it was almost a triple. Almost a triple. So it makes you more than what you're thinking. Most people will think 2% for the week. I really didn't do that much. No, you did a bunch. But the whole thing is, to get to the top of the mountain, we made one step. We got to make the same step next week and the week after and the week after. And just from my experience and my data, this is really low. So once we start getting bigger numbers, then it'll be 4, 5, 6 times. So another thing to factor in is we did not use the whole account. So your account from a hypothetical was $300, right? Well, you're not going to turn 300 into 900 as a triple that way because we didn't have the whole 300 in play. We only had $56 in play. But just from this 1 week, had we only used $56 from the 300, the $56 in a year would turn into $156. Okay? So you would have got your initial $56 back, and you would have made $100 on 300, which is a 33.33% return on your total account. Nobody does that. And the way I do this strategy, I never lose money. That's my number one rule. 100% of these always work, but they don't always work by the very next day. Okay? So sometimes it's a long game. And that's why you need capital. Some people call it dry powder. You got to be able to fire another bullet at it, right? And that's where conviction in the strategy comes in. And you get that over time. and by seeing it work over and over and over and over again, okay? Because it does. But now you see your 2%. Well, now you're thinking, well, shoot, I'm on track for a 33% return. Most people, if you get into your middle ages and you haven't totally sucked your money out, which typically those people aren't watching anyways, but if you are, hang in there, man. You can turn this around. But typically you get 30, 40, 50 years old, you should have access to about 100 grand. If you don't, you really just haven't been doing life. You just haven't. Because that's like 3,000 a year or something like that. It might be 401k. It might be equity in a house. It might be, just basic stuff. Most people don't have that in cash because they would go spend it, right? But say hypothetically you got a hold of $100,000 and you did this 2 days of the week for last week, and we made 2% on just a small portion of that money at risk. You could have made $33,000 for the year. Inflation, that used to be good, but inflation's kicking our ass. But I hope that just gives you some perspective. I'm not trying to sell you on cash your 401 in or no crazy stuff like that. But I'm just trying to tell you, like, if you look at your investment statements, you should have just got one. Take a look at it. You should have got one last month, which would have been Q2, the second quarter. Take a look at it. Are you on pace to make 33% in a bear market? No. So as you start to get some time in and you really invest in being patient, because that's the hardest thing. People just want to buy, sell. What's Kramer doing? That ain't it, man. Not for me, because I can't take the risk, right? So if you look at other strategies online, they'll talk about stop loss, right? Or buying low-cost options, so you can only lose a small amount, but you can make a big amount. But for me, I know every time I make a purchase, I'm making money. I just don't know when I'm going to get paid. All right? Rich people do not work for a paycheck. They don't. They don't get paid for their time. Okay? But they consistently make investments that give them a return. And that's what we're doing. And so this is just one part of the strategy, and this allows you to compound your initial seed money into being able to use this to invest, okay? And that will increase your passive income. So, long-winded, all that just to say this, we took 2 trades this week. They worked out perfect. The very same day or the very next day, they worked out perfect. Everything's good. Just keep your expectations in check. Give it 2 or 3 months. Let's see how this spreadsheet evolves. We'll go through this on a weekly and keep checking in about, okay, what are we on track for the year? How do we compare versus the market, right? Those are the kinds of things you need to be worrying about, because if there's something going on with your personality, or you don't have discipline, or you're entitled and you think that you should be making more than this and all that, that's just never going to work. But if you just buy into the process, take a few minutes a day, just relax, play the playlist. I put everything into a playlist. Just let it repeat over and over and over again, because all it is the same stuff. But repetition is the best teacher. I took all the emotions out of my strategy. You don't have to say, well, the market kind of looks like it's going down, so I'll buy. And then that way when it goes back up, I'll be in profits. No. Is the market up or is the market down? It's not an opinion, okay? There is no subjectivity. It's objectivity. It's either up or it's down. You buy or sell. Black, white. So you'll probably learn a lot about yourself and human emotions because it's hard to stick to it. It's really hard to, just like a diet or a workout plan or anything like that. It's very much the same thing. But doing nothing is sometimes the best options for money because the opportunities aren't always there, and we're just trying to take little bites out of these bigger moves, but they work with 100% success rate so far. So over a huge sample. So that's what we stick to. I hope that I wasn't rambling too much, but I get talking about this stuff. Excuse me, I can't shut up. But I really wanted to put this out for you folks because it was a really slow week. We didn't have a lot of activity. The videos will get more interesting as we manage a position. We've never managed a position. We put a buy order in and a sell order in, and that's it. Maybe in the future, as we get more cash flow generated, I might start a new account and show you guys a real account. But I don't give you all the fine details because you're supposed to go out into the world with your curiosity and seek those details out. It is very much your own journey. But things like the scanner, well, the web address is at the top of the page, and you can see all the filters are highlighted in yellow. Go back to the video. If you're still sitting there going, well, I don't know how to set up the scanner, then you need to pull your head out of your ass and try. You got to put some effort in, okay? Because the information is literally right in front of you. Or, well, I don't have those charts on my broker. Well, it's a free site, okay? I don't have any money in this. The address is right at the top of the page. You got to apply yourself a little bit here, okay? But for most people, they can see market up or down. Do add the SPY to your watch list. Even if you do not have any ownership of those shares, that's the one you're checking for market up or down. We use the S&P 500. And it's just easy. Stay the course, man. We'll see you next week. Hopefully next week has more things to discuss, and we'll hit it from there.